Welcome back to episode 7 of our neighborhood build series. This is Farm Sim 25 Builds, and we are building out this entire neighborhood on the beautiful map of Settlers. I'm doing it all on my console and talking you through it step by step, so follow along guys. Today we are building on lot 93. We built out that other lot in the backyard yesterday, so I figured we should fill in this space. Now, we kind of went above and beyond with that lot and used up too much space, so we have to kind of be a little modest with how big this property is and how we place things. So that will get a little tricky and it will kind of limit us on what we can do, but I did decide to use a decoration house. I don't want to use up too many of my slots with, these big demanding houses and ruin all my gameplay later on when this is all done. So we are using a decoration house and kind of, decoration cars and just small, not very demanding mods. So right here is just a little garage that we're going to place. I kind of play around with this one, but end up changing my mind in the end and placing a different decoration garage. They don't really have a ton of good small options. I do think it looks goofy in town when you have this, small little house and a massive garage. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but it does look a little goofy in the end, and I think it's a little more realistic to have a garage a little smaller than your house, especially if you're not a car guy like 80% of the population, I'm a car guy, I see the beauty in a giant man cave or garage like this, but in this small little neighborhood, it looks too industrial and out of place, and also we don't have a ton of space here, so we don't want to do anything too big, But, as always, look through all your options. You might find something that you like, you might find something that you've never seen before, and I do that all the time when I'm going through. I've got around 440 mods downloaded on my console here, just all in-game downloadable content, and quite honestly, I find new things every single day. So, look through, be thorough, check all your options, see what fits, what works, and like I said, I kind of had my eye on a little garage in this others category. This actually doesn't open. There's really no real significance to this, but the color matched, and in my opinion, it kind of works out perfectly. So we are going to place that decoration garage. And then we will go over to decorations and just start placing things. Now, like I said, we don't have a ton of space, so we kind of have to be very mindful with what we're doing, what we're building, and how we build it. But we can make this space look really, really good and useful and pretty fitting. So going through here, like I said, just look at all your options, download every decoration pack, you'll use them at some point. I use some of those debris things for roleplay, for like junked up construction sites or junked up properties, things like that. And as always, place your garbage cans. Everyone has garbage cans, you gotta have somewhere to throw your trash. Same with mailboxes, fire hydrants. All those things are so small, but they make a huge difference in your build later on. So just, think about it, place it. We're gonna place a little decoration lawnmower over here. It's not functional or anything, but it kind of adds to the effect. And then, maybe some wood. Maybe these people have a wood burning fireplace or something inside their house. So we'll place some wood back behind the garage and kind of fill that in. Going back through, like I said, it's just always important. I want to kind of put a trampoline here, but it just kind of looks out of place. So let's just keep that in the back of our mind. I do want to put something in that field over there. That is important to me because it kind of looks goofy, empty, and you can't just always put a ton of trees. Back to the black flower pots, guys. I love that black flower pot, so I place them everywhere. And then we'll put those little flower beds there. I just think it kind of adds to the effect. The window has the little flower decorations. These people, look like an older couple in my mind, so we'll put a little bike there, maybe to stay active. And let's put a clothes hanger out here, or drying, whatever they call it. I don't really know what they are. But I know they're for drying clothes, so let's put that back there. And like I said, use decoy vehicles, the decoration vehicles. They don't have people in them, they don't move, but when you're done with your neighborhood build, if you put real cars in all of these spots and you want to get one specific pickup, good luck. So keep that in mind, and use decoration vehicles. It definitely makes a world of difference, and you will thank yourself later for doing that. We're gonna put a little ladder here. I mean, like I said, this is all just kind of to add to the effect, make it look like they've lived here a long time, and make it look actually realistic, you know? Like, people aren't always perfect. They've got stuff outside. There's a bike out there, like I said. They've got kind of long grass here. Ooh, fire hydrant. Okay, let's place our fire hydrant. I don't know, they're everywhere in neighborhood, guys. Look around, you'll see them everywhere. It's just something so small that makes a huge difference, in my opinion. We are going to fence in this backyard here, just kind of split it up, so we will kind of place some things back there later. I've never really used this wagon wheel decoration, but let's put it there. Like I said, this house kind of looks like it might be owned by an older couple, in my opinion, so it's kind of fitting. I don't usually use the decoration trees. I have them downloaded, but I have found that sometimes they just disappear, and I hate that. So I usually use real trees. That's just something I've noticed. Now, with using real trees, be very careful. Don't place them where you don't want them. As I always say, it's better to just be mindful, place them slowly, and then you don't have to cut them down later. No one wants to do that, you know what I mean? Alright. We are going through others now just to see if there's maybe something in here that we might add. You know, that might look kind of nice, but don't really have a good spot for it, so we're going to skip that. Continue through. There's just a ton of decoration houses. We're not going to spend a ton of time looking through those, so there's literally 0 point in those until later on in this series. Mailbox. We do need that though. So we are going to get this mailbox set up. We'll kind of make it the same color as a brick there. Place that out front. That looks very nice. And like I said earlier, I kind of want to fill in that space off to the side, that field there. So I'm going to kind of just cycle through, see if there's anything that might fit, anything I'm missing, you know. I'm kind of thinking about putting a garden outside, so let's see how those fit. But in the end, I find that the gardens are just massive. Maybe we'll use an empty lot over off to the side and put one of the, like a community garden. That might be kind of cool. But yeah, this just didn't really fit the vibe of the house. Like, that just looks too run down and old. So I end up not going this route. Like I said, it would be cool, but just didn't quite fit the vibes of this old little homestead house, whatever you want to call it, property. Alright, continuing through, let's do a little painting for the back patio. You know, we put that little table out there, so we need it to have a pad for it to sit on. I'm going to use a brick just so it looks like, you know, maybe they put some pavers out and put their patio table on it. That's super common, right? Going around, we're going to make sure that we don't have grass growing on our brick. You don't want that. And then we will go back around and just get it up close so it looks realistic. Remember guys, if you get grass where you don't want it, press X on your Xbox controller with the grass tool out and it will delete the grass. Alright, it is time to place the fence. I decided to go with this brown fence. When I place fence, I do pay attention because there is a right and a wrong way to put the fence. There's an inside and outside, so you do have to go certain ways to get it to work right. So you can see here, I keep trying to place it and it's telling me that it's colliding with object. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm just sitting here struggling. Wouldn't even let me place it in the field. So I tried a different one, and then I realized the water in the pond next door is my issue. So I delete that water quickly. We'll get our fence placed, and then in the end here we'll go back and place that water. It's not a huge deal to have to just delete it for a little bit. I did put a gate there at the front so you can get in there with a mower or even just walk back there. You know, you kind of got to have a gate. We will put another gate over here because everywhere I know has 1 or 2 gates, you know, usually 2, 1 on each side. So there's our gate, and we will go back and finish off their patio now. Like I said, it's just back and forth, small detail here, small detail there. Make sure you're not missing anything. Take your time, go slow. It's not a race, you know. My first time building, it took me so long to get used to this stuff, remember where things are and all of that. But at this point now, I kind of just know where things are, know what I want, and it comes pretty quick and easy now. And you'll get there too. Just keep following along with the videos and we'll all get there. So I do notice I forgot a fence here. I was going to put a gate here, but that kind of seems pointless. if you ask me. So we're just gonna put a straight fence. And now it is time to put something in that spot. I still like the idea of the garden, but it's just not gonna be big enough. Think about a doghouse too, but the dog kind of just runs wild, and I don't want my dog to live at this house. I want it at a better property, so we are gonna go back and look through decorations one more time just to see if there's anything that we're missing or anything that we could add, and that would be the trampoline. So we are gonna go back, find that trampoline, and place that trampoline. I was kind of debating on doing like a sandbox or something like that. But really, I mean, there's not much more that you can add. This is kind of a smaller, quick build. Like I said, you don't want to like use all your slots on this stuff. You want to be mindful with that and be careful. I'm gonna go back with the Force Ground tool and paint the areas like for pads and for the trampoline there, because I've never seen a trampoline with actual grass that's not dead under it. I did kind of get excited and I missed the gate, so I had to go back and repaint it and fix that up, but that's not a huge deal. Like I said, it's pretty easy to do. Just do a little back and forth and take your time. We will go and replant grass, and really the only thing left is trees. You know what I mean? We're pretty much good with that. So we are going to go back and add some trees. Like I've said before, be mindful with it and do them last. You can press left and right on the D-pad to change the maturity and the size of the tree. So if you find a tree that you like, but it's just a little big, press left on the D-pad, right on the D-pad, change size up, change style of it. And you might find it to work better that way, So we're just gonna go around and place a few of these. And then like I said, we do have to go back and place some water back in that pond once we're done with the trees. You don't need to go super crazy with the trees. I tend to always go overboard. I love the trees, the wildlife look. That's my favorite. You can always go and cut them down if you need, or if you have to. Sometimes you have to. You don't need to, you have to. Otherwise, guys, there's really not much left to this video. I do want to say, I appreciate your guys' views, subscriptions, support, and all of that. This has been so much fun. I will be posting more to this series later on this week. And I will be going live on TikTok at FarmSim25Builds. Otherwise, guys, if you like what I'm doing, check out my other videos where I do go over the mod hub. I go over what mods I use, what mods I like. It is a little dated now, so I will update that video soon. Otherwise, guys, check out the other build videos and stay building, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.